And hello, from over there, episode number 10. I'm into the double digits. Welcome. Hope we got a lot of viewers out there. I'd like to take the pleasure of welcoming friend Joe Taino, who's here with us today. Well, let me go to another camera here while we kick this off. I'm going to go right to, I got some background slides of Joe's hometown. So we're going to go to that. Welcome, Joe.
How you doing?
Everybody's right there.
Yeah.
So, as I start every show with my guests, I ask you, how did we meet? Do you remember how we met?
It was probably at the Great Notch in... No.
You know where I'm thinking it was? The Cavalier Cafe.
That's
remember?
What it was. Yes.
Because Cavalier Cafe was a great little place in Clifton. And I remember seeing you play there because I used to hang out there a lot.
Yep.
And I actually have a video, and I was trying to find it, and I couldn't because I have 20 million hard drives. But I had a little camera one time that used to shoot MP3s on a floppy disk, and you were playing with your band, and I was like going up and down your neck and stuff, and I was trying to find that video for the show, but I couldn't find it.
Wow.
But I think it's where we met, was at the Cavalier Cafe.
Yeah, I love that. I used to love that place, man. And I saw some really good players, different acts. I saw a band one time that really blew me away. They had a vibraphone, and they have somebody playing a bassoon.
Really?
I'm telling you, and they were playing jazz and all kinds of stuff. And I never really actually saw a bassoon in action. I mean, when I worked
in some strange movies somewhere.
When I work in music stores, I used to sell the bassoon reeds, but I never saw somebody playing the bassoon live.
What store did you work in?
Oh no, well, I started in Puerto Rico, then I worked in Florida and Miami.
Okay.
Pan American Music. Then I work in a store in Fort Lauderdale. They still open, Music Arts Enterprises. Then I work at Sam Ash on 48th Street. Then I work as a...
I worked for that horrible company myself back in the day, but that's another show. We talked about that.
I work as a technician in different places, you know. But I saw... and actually, that band kind of blew me away, but I can't even remember the name or whoever was in the band, but... There was a lot of good players there.
All right, we got some folks here in the chat room. So if you're a first-time viewer, I'm going to put up a phone number for you guys. There's my phone number at the top of the screen. And over on the left, is my Skype number. So you guys can Skype or call in if you want to ask Joe any questions. As you can tell by Joe's heavy Jersey accent, he's from Puerto Rico. So I got some pictures of Puerto Rico flashing in the background here. I went and pulled some.
And actually,
San Juan, right?
Yes, but when I first came to mainland United States, I went straight to the Bronx. I didn't even speak English. I mean, I know a little bit of English that they teach you in school in Puerto Rico, but I was a really bad student anyway, so I didn't. I was more interested in it. When I was in school, I was just, all I had in my mind was music. You know, whatever records I was listening to, it kept on stuck on my head. Like basically Cream and Hendrix, and I was in school, and the teacher blah 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 blah, and I'm not listening from one ear to the other. All I have in my mind was, Sitting on Top of the World, or Sleepy Time, or Rolling and Tumbling, or that's what was going in my mind. And I'm tapping on the desk, but I never really pay attention.
Sounds like a big Harley just went by. Yeah. But Joe is one of the few full-time musicians out there. He plays his ass off. If you go online, you want to check out some of his stuff, go to joetaino.com or just go to Google or YouTube and look up Joe Taino, Taino. The song you heard playing at the beginning of the show was Joe. He's going to do some stuff for us here today, but so I remember seeing you play at the Cavalier Cafe, and that was a great place. There was a lot of different bands. There was a very eclectic place, different styles of music. Gail, the owner, is a sweetheart.
I remember Gail.
Gail is a sweetheart. She lived in Italy for quite a few years. I'm friends with her on Facebook.
Good for her.
And the Cavalier Cafe is long gone. And then Joe mentioned the Great Notch, another place where we've probably seen each other. I've seen you play there.
I'm still there. Great Notch, it was one of the first places Well, I first moved. When I came up here, I was living in the city. When I first came back, not in the 70s. In the 70s, I live in the Bronx, and then I went back to PR, and then I went to Florida in 1980, and I lived in Florida for 9 years. Then I moved back up here in 1990, and I moved to New York, and then from New York I moved to Weehawken, and then from Weehawken I moved to Irvington. I met a chick with wound up being my second wife, and in Irvington I met some guy, a bass player, and he hooked me up with he said, I gotta be in the band, but you know, I'm not going to mention names, but he wasn't that good. But he got me the Great Notch gig, so I had to thank him for that. And back then there was a lot of great bands playing. Well, there's always been a lot of great bands playing there.
Yeah.
But
the Great Notch, we'll get a plug out to our friend Rich Hempel, who he's been running the Great Notch forever. It's one of the last like rock and roll roadhouses in New Jersey. It was threatened for years by eminent domain. It's up on Route 3 in...
they almost... I don't know. He got lucky that he kept it because they took down...
I saw
everything, all the trees and the rocks from... There used to be big rocks.
Yeah.
They took everything down. Now the notch is just a little bit, and there's two highways around.
It's
crazy.
An island. It's an island between two highways. But they were able to keep the place because it's a historic site. It was actually started by his grandfather,
and that place wasn't there. You know, that was across the street.
Across the street. Right?
They rolled the whole building.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen the history of it.
Many years ago. Yeah.
And they have music there, I think 7 nights a week, at least 6. 'Cause I know on Monday is the open jam. So Rich Hempel, if you're watching this, rock and roll, and we got to get some of your guys to come on my show because I need guests.
Yeah. They have a really strong jam session. It's very busy on Mondays, and it's not only a blues jam. Of course, people play blues because blues it's not easy, but it's simple to follow. You could just, if it's a 3-chord blues, it's simple. It's like simple rock and roll, so you could follow.
Blues is a big weakness for me in my guitar playing. Blues is much easier to listen to than it is to play.
It depends what you really want to do with the blues. If you're really serious about it, I mean, everything can be learned.
Right. But you got to have it in the heart. You got to have the feel.
Exactly. Exactly. See, people think that blues is just, blues is easy, man. That's Zeppelin.
1, 3, 5.
No. I don't think so, man. It's just it depends. It depends if people. It all depends if you could get to people and you do a good job of what you do, and if people like it, you win.
Play a little blues for us, Joe.
What do I know, right?
You're in an open tuning, I guess, and he's got a slide. So there's your blues right there, right?
Well, I tell you what, I really admire the guys that can play slide.
We got a phone call coming in, Joe.
Yeah.
Jim O'Brien, my buddy Jim. Why didn't my phone ring? There it is. Hello, welcome from over there.
We got a phone call coming in, Joe. Yeah. Oh, Brian, my buddy Jim.
Hey, Jim, turn your computer audio down. Maybe we're getting butt calls.
Welcome from over there.
I'm hearing the show 10 minutes ago. No, maybe he's not there. Maybe it was a butt call. Jim, if that was you, call back. All right, that was my friend Jim O'Brien calling, and he was my first guest on the show. Jim is an awesome guitar player. I don't know if he's ever seen you play.
I probably O'Brien. Sounds familiar.
Try this again. Hello. Hello. Are we getting prank phone calls? Hello. Anybody there? That's odd. Somebody's prank phone calling the show. Could very well be. Did you ever hear of Harry Leahy, the teacher? Mm-hmm. My friend Jim studied with him, and he's a big jazz guy. Matter of fact, I spoke with Jim Leahy, his son, this morning, who's going to be coming on the show. But let's go back. You're starting some songs there. If you call back, Jim, we'll try to get you in. But play a little guitar for us.
So I want to tell people when I started playing, blues and slide, I didn't know about open tunings. I played with a regular tuning, and actually I did a pretty good job. But but it's way harder to do with the regular tunings, you know.
Right.
So
Jim. Hello. Jim, what are you doing? What's going on here? This is retarded. Huh. All right, we're going to ignore the phone.
Yeah. Anyway, so what I was saying, it's much easier to play slide guitar with open tunings. Derek Trucks plays with a regular tuning most of the time. He's amazing, but you know, you have to really work on that. You know, open tunings is like the G chord. So what it is just the whole scale is in one place. You know, I mean, you move around a little bit. Another trick is you have to have, you know, pretty high action. You know, you can't play with just a regular action because you're going to hit the frets. It's going to doesn't sound that clean, you know, and also heavy strings. For example, this is one of the songs that I wrote a long time ago. You fight too much. You just like the rest. You fight too much. You just like the rest. You fight too much. Why can't you give it a rest? You made me this way. Why try to change me now? You made me this way. Why try to change me now? You got what you wish for, and now you throw me out. You have to rush to the priest. You couldn't resist. You have to rush to the priest. You couldn't resist. Now you're throwing a fit, and you're giving me your fist. Yes, you fight too much. You just like the rest. You fight too much. You just like the rest. Yes, you fight too much. Why can't you give it a rest? It's simple, you know. I mean, that doesn't get any simpler than that. To me, that's like. There we go. Yeah, right.
So was that about your first wife or your second?
That's about the second. Yeah, right. Man.
I caught that there a little bit.
My first, they're all nice, you know. All my wives, they're all nice.
How many have there been?
Oh man. No, I'm on my third, but she's a sweetheart. All of them are good.
I'm on my third.
I'm hard to do. You know, I'm a musician.
Yes, we can.
And I'm very self-centered. And
are you a Taurus?
No, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm a Scorpio. Listen, no, this is not that I'm self-centered, but we are self-centered. Musicians, it's all about us. You know how it is. And but we don't mean it. It's just.
We're not self-centered. We're focused and dedicated.
I guess come
on, work with me here. No, but you're right. Musicians are the toughest people to have relationships with
because and we all the frustrations. You know, like when she, you know, why do you do this? You know, like I don't care about. I'm just thinking. Sometimes I'm upset because I cannot get in some gig. I cannot get in some festival. I'm upset because the drummer dressed like crap, or somebody smelled bad in the band, or I'm mad because stupid stuff that actually
that you write songs about eventually.
It affects your music. You know, like sometimes you playing in some place that it sounds horrible.
Right.
The place, but then you hate the whole band because you think it's the band that sounded horrible. It's not the band. It's the place, but. Sometimes you like intimidated. You go to a place it's full of jocks and nobody's paying attention, right. Or they're giving you dirty looks, and they ruin your night. Or sometimes you go to a place and you haven't even plugged in, and the guy's already coming. Guys, you got to bring it down. Yeah. I said, dude, I haven't even plugged in the guitar yet. Well, I want to tell you one thing. Here you have to, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Oh man, or some guy come. How many people you bring? Do you bring a lot of people? I hope.
How big is your following?
Man, my night is ruined. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to play. I want to go home. I just want to pick it up and just go home.
Yeah.
So, and then you go home and your wife, you know, well, you didn't take the garbage out. You know, like, come on, man. Really? I mean, give me a break. I don't want to hear it.
You all thought being a musician was all peaches and cream.
It sucks. And then, it's really horrible. Then, at the end of the week, you look at the bank account and you have to pay a simple bill, you know, a phone bill or whatever, and you're about $3 under, you know.
Right.
What am I going to do? You know, it's just like
being
sucks.
a musician is almost like a blessed curse, because
It's horrible.
you were talking earlier about being in school in Puerto Rico and you weren't even hearing the teacher because you had music in your head.
I was crazy.
So it's in you, and we have to do it because that's what we do. Mm-hmm. It's, you know, people that do it for a living or do it for their lives, it's because they can't not do it.
And you know another crazy thing I was thinking about. No, tell me what we're saying.
Well, and that's where the relationships get tough, because, you know, we go out and try to make a living doing this because we have to do it.
Exactly.
And it's not easy, and we're on the opposite schedule of everybody else. Mm-hmm. But it's what we do.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about the you know, it's you got to be careful with some guys, and like me happened, you know, I can't sleep. It takes me a while to sleep, to unwind, because you know that I keep on, you know, some songs stick in my head, and I'm trying to go to sleep, and I can't get it out of my head.
Wow.
And it's 3 in the morning, and the song's still running in my head. 4 in the morning, and I can't sleep. You know, it's horrible. So what I do now, sometimes I take a little wine, and I just watch some movie, or I go on the computer and I go on eBay and start looking at guitars, of course, or motorcycles.
Joe's a fellow rider.
Yeah, to get it's just.
Have you ever
craziness?
I've heard songs in my sleep and woke up and either grab a guitar and a recorder so I could remember it, or I'll remember the lyrics and write them down. Have you ever written a song in your sleep?
Yep. Yeah.
That's how crazy we are. It's in our head. It comes out through our hearts, and we just keep punching away.
Yep.
So I wanted to have the list when I put up the advertisement for Joe. Here it is right here. Some of the people that you have played with. I'm just going to go through this list real quick. I've shared the stage with notable artists including Peter Frampton, Judas Priest, Rick Derringer, Cyndi Lauper, Gregg Allman, Carlos Santana, Jaco Pastorious, Johnny Winter, Robin Trower, Pat Travers, King Crimson, and many more. So many of my favorite bands in that list right there. King Crimson, crazy.
When I didn't open for King Crimson, I opened for UK. But it basically it was two of the guys from King Crimson.
Fripp and
no. UK was Eddie Jobson, John Wetton, and what's that guy that used to play with Missing Persons? The drummer.
Oh, I don't remember.
He played with Jeff Beck. He played with all these people.
I don't know.
He's unbelievable. So I maybe that was a mistake, a misprint there. But anyway, he played one of the best drum solos I've ever seen in my life. You know the guy? He's he played with Frank Zappa also, drummer.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember.
His wife was like blonde.
Yes.
New wave kind of.
Somebody call it in, Skype it in, text it in. We got quite a few people here in the chat. My friend Jim.
Terry Bozzio.
Yes, Terry Bozzio.
Dude, that guy did a drum solo
He's not. I remember seeing him do stuff with Frank Zappa.
Unbelievable.
He used to play naked or like in his underwear.
No, yeah,
like a loincloth.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, he can't do it because he's thin. If I take my shirt off, forget about it. The whole concert hall would disappear. Everybody goes home.
Yeah.
Oh no! When you're that thin, that's cool.
We got a lot of people out here. Tanya McCormick, Margie Mock, Jim O'Brien, Ed Colton, John Graper, all in the chat room. Thank you guys for tuning in. My friend Jim wants you to make some more music.
Let me mute that thing. I'm gonna put.
Okay, he's gonna change guitars.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to play.
Go ahead.
There we go. So I seen some. There's so many great players out there, but
Carlos Santana was a huge influence for me.
I talked to Carlos, backstage for a little bit, and you know that he doesn't speak Spanish very good.
I believe
he's he's Mexican family, but or maybe he was born in Mexico, but he grew up in California. They took him to California when he was a baby, you know. So
I remember
nice
learning how to play guitar and taking Carlos Santana albums on a 33, an actual album on the turntable, and turning it down to 33 and a third and slowing it down, and that's how I had to figure out the notes. Even though it was out of pitch, I could still relate the pitches somehow.
The thing with Carlos, you know, some people have their sound. It doesn't matter what kind of amplifier. Right. In fact, when you know what he used in Woodstock, he used a solid state amp, a prototype of Gallian Kruger.
Really?
Solid state.
Yeah,
I think he had the best sound, you know, aside of Jimmy, because Jimmy is my man. But let me tell you something. Aside of Jimmy, I think Carlos had the best sound in Woodstock.
And again, it's feel, too. He plays with such feel.
Him.
He takes those notes and just...
It's like him, you know.
Samba Pati or...
same thing. He went to Puerto Rico. When after the Santana band for a little bit, he went into this Indian religion. I forgot. He cut his hair, dressed all in white, and he was with John McLaughlin, right? So they went and played. They were playing like sort of like a semi-acoustic thing. It was two of them, and with the guy with the tabla. Yeah, it was something like Indian. And I was working in this music store, and they needed amplifiers, so they came to rent. They rent two Twin Rivers, you know, silver-faced Twin Rivers that we sold that sounded horrible, those amps, because with the master volume, they just really bad sounding amps. Don't matter, man.
Right.
He sounded just like that. and you know who told me that also?
There's always that argument about where's the tone? Is it in the guitar or is it in their hands? Like, I would love to play with like a Steve Vai with his actual rig and see what I sound like through his rig.
I couldn't play with that. But anyway, you know who told me that too? I met David Hidalgo and Cesar Rosas. I was playing in New York at the Ear Inn. I used to play there for many years, like the first Monday of the month, and I was ready to go and play, right? And then I see a couple of taxis pull in, and a guy come out, big guy. He looks like David Hidalgo. I said, man, the guy looks like David Hidalgo. He comes in, and I'm looking at him, and I said, are you David Hidalgo? I said, oh yeah. I just went, I'm not worthy. You know, the guy from Los Lobos. And they said, oh, the whole band is coming. So they were playing at the City Winery.
Oh, okay.
They did a whole week there.
Yep.
So we were talking, and then he said, oh, you ever met Santana? Because, you know, you're Mexican. You know, oh, yeah, man. You know, and then David told me, I can't believe this Santana came and they're playing a big concert. I don't know what kind of concert it was. And all they had was those, you know, store-bought Fenders, you know. Right. I don't know if it was Blues DeVille, you know, those horrible amps that I will never play to them. I mean, if I have to, I play to them, but yuck.
Not by choice.
Yuck, you know. But Santana went, plugged the guitar in, boop, boop, boop. Instant.
Like Carlos.
Instant. Yeah. Doesn't matter, man.
No.
Doesn't matter.
That's great.
That's just the way it is, you know.
So, you do like 300 gigs a year?
No anymore. I mean, these days, close to 200, I say.
Yeah.
You know, I mean...
And you travel to, I mean, you do the city a lot. So I refuse to play in the city.
There's no more. The only place that I can play in the city is B.B. King's, you know, and then once in a while I play this place in Soho, the Coping Room, and I played a couple of gigs lately in the East Village, you know, the Sidewalk Cafe, but it wasn't my band. I'm the guitar player, just helping out a friend of mine, singer, Gina Healy.
Speaking of B.B. King's, I'm going to go to this for just a second here. There's Badass Joe. All right. Joe has been inducted into two Rock and Roll Halls of Fame, one in New York and one recently in Puerto Rico. Right?
No, the Blues Hall of Fame in New York.
Blues Hall of Fame.
Blues Hall of Fame in New Jersey, which is almost the same. And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Puerto Rico.
Look at that badass right there. How old were you there?
Yeah, that was in Florida.
Was it?
I must have been like...
Does that guy look like a rock star or what? Huh?
Yeah.
And this is...
That was country. That guy, the guy singing, man, that guy sounded just like Willie Nelson. The guy's from Kentucky. I don't know if he's still alive. His name was Marion Height. And that was in one of the Navy bases, like a regular, one of the bars inside the Navy bases in Puerto Rico.
Really?
And that stage, it was inside the bar. You know what I'm saying? You saw those bars in the old days that they have the stage like right inside
behind
the bar.
Behind the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a couple of those around.
I loved the bases when we used to play in the Navy bases.
There's the Marshall Stack. You got a little Prince thing going on.
No. Listen, I hate that photo. I would never play that guitar in a million years. If I'm going to play that guitar, I might as well put on a dress on, you know?
Look at this guy, man. No wonder you had 3 wives. Good looking
That
guy,
was a
right?
good trio. The guy to the right, his name is David Romero. Amazing singing. He's a good guitar player, but he was playing bass with me, and he sings really good. And the other guy with the afro, that's Jorgito Marrero, and he's a great drummer. And it was in Florida. In that era, this is, so you know, in the 80s. Well, look what we look like, you know, see what we look like.
Right.
Everybody in the 80s had spandex and fixed up hair and spray, and or there was new wave. So they used to put us to play, share the bill with the kids. The kids were the band where Johnny Depp was, right? Johnny Depp was one of the guitar players. And we became friends, and we play a few gigs with them. And Johnny Depp is a pretty good guitar player. He sings well.
I got a Skype call coming in, possibly. Keep trying, Jeff. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but we always play the small stage. We always play the weird hours. We were always the losers. It's life, man. You know what? And I take it. As long as they give me a gig, you know, we're not American from here, so, you know, what are you going to do? We're 3 Puerto Ricans? Are you kidding me?
Right.
You got to be kidding me, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I had to take it. Whatever they give me, okay, I'll take it.
Right. There's one of Joe's certificates for the Blues Artist Hall of Fame. Very nice. And there's Joe at B.B. King's. That's what maybe when you were speaking of B.B. King's. But
hey, listen, I shouldn't complain because, you know, I'm not as popular as certain people. I don't get to play certain concerts, but it's my own fault because I never really looked for a manager. I just do my things my own, and I'm the worst manager. You know, I can't promote myself to save my life.
Right, it's not easy.
That's the problem. You know,
it is,
and it's all promotion. You know, whatever. I'm
true.
looking for a manager. If somebody want to take care of the business, I'll give him a piece of the cake. I mean, I just can't do it.
It's right. We do wear a lot of hats. Besides,
and I hate
being a manager. I hate being booking agent.
It sucks.
That's the worst part about this job is booking gigs. It's just horrible. And I got canceled that Saturday. I should mention the place. I told you earlier.
Yeah, but then they were going to burn
1
the bridge.
1 o'clock in the afternoon. They said, "Oh, we canceled because it's going to rain." Oh, it's going to rain, and it never rained. It was beautiful all day.
You're going to burn the bridge.
And they don't want to pay you half or anything like that. But all right, let's do some music, man. We are halfway into our streams already. I'm looking at Facebook here. We got a lot of activity on Facebook. Yeah, there's a lot of people watching. That's good. I'm going to go over here to YouTube and look at the stats. Yeah, we got some people in the house. Thank you guys for tuning in. Play us some music, Joe. What do you got? So now,
all right. Listen, I want people to know this stuff that I did before. Well, that one wasn't that old, probably, 15 years ago. I haven't recorded anything in 10 years or more than 10 years. I haven't written anything. All of a sudden, my mind kind of dried out, but it'll come back to me. It's a period that you go in life that you don't do. But in the 90s, I was pretty busy doing a lot of writing, So this stuff that I have, and the problem is that everything that I recorded was with bands.
Right.
And so everything was written for the whole band. Yeah. And you know what sucks? I'm a little better singer now. I'm not a singer, period. I'm not a good singer. It's not I'm a bad singer. I'm not a singer. I'm a guitar player. And I sing because I like it, but also I have to. I have no choice. I can. That's what I do for a living. But I'm not. So to me, a singer is Al Green is a singer. You know what I'm saying? Right. Frank Sinatra is a singer. That's a singer. Joe Cocker was my favorite. But hey, listen, I do the best I can. And this stuff that I wrote it's a long time ago. But let me do one that I did in my first CD when I moved to New York. I was trying to do some kind of like Latin blues kind of thing. Mm-hmm. immediately, oh man, he's trying to sound like Santana. It's always something.
Right.
If I play more, like, oh, he's Stevie Ray Vaughan. If I play Nice and Beautiful, oh no, he's been Hendrix. So give me a break. So I can't.
I
win.
ignore all of them.
I cannot win. But this is sort of like it had like Latin percussion on it. Annalie, don't close your doors on me. Annalie, don't close your doors on me. I love you, girl. Don't hurt me. I work hard all day, work the night time too. I work hard all day, work the night time too. But when I get home, you accuse me of been cheating on you, and that's not right. Let me in, talk to me if you really care. Let me in, talk to me if you really care. Our love will never grow old when there's no trust for us to share. I'm not going to do solos here. Annalie, you have to believe in me. Annalie, you have to believe in me. There's no one else in my life but you, Annalie. Annalie. I mean, on this song I do solos, and it's got congas and like the timbales type of thing, and it was like Latin. I don't know what you call it, Latin rock maybe. Doesn't matter. But
Joe tried to bring a bass player in. He was going to bring an upright player in, but he couldn't make it, which would have been the first time me trying to juggle three people in here. But that song had sounded. I know you hate when people say that. It sounded like is it a Clapton song?
That was way before it probably.
He probably stole it from you.
No, I love Clapton. Clapton is,
of course.
Well, we'll talk about this in a second. But I don't know what I know what he's saying. This song I recorded around '93. But talking about so quick. Talking about Clapton. I mean, when the first how I got into American music, when in the '60s there was all the Navy bases in Puerto Rico were open. We had 5 Navy bases, and also there was a lot of American companies there back then. So we have a lot of North American people living in Puerto Rico back then. Even in my block, at least 1 or 2 families that we call them los Americanos. But the way I got into American music, I had 2 uncles. They were in the Navy. One, he was an North American guy. He married my father's sister, and they were staying in one of the Navy bases in PR. My other is my uncle, my father's brother. He was in the Navy. So my father's brother used to take us on Saturdays to the swimming pool. We wanted to go to the swimming pool. So I was tiny, 5 years old, and they used to take us to he was a lifeguard as a part-time thing. So imagine, you're in the Navy base, in the swimming pool full of Americanas, all the beautiful blonde girls, the deal, and they blasting on the radio, 50s rock and roll, Elvis, Chuck Berry, Buddy Holly. So all that stuff sticks, stays with you.
Yeah.
Then when my father, in 1964, my father bought a new car, a Chevrolet, and that night he took us to the drive-in, and they were playing the Beatles movie, Hard Day's Night.
Really?
And I saw that, and I said, oh my, that's what I want to do. When I saw,
My friend Jeff Coster Skyped a message and said, why don't you guys play some Beatles songs? But we're not going to do covers.
But this is the funny thing. I'm not into... You know why I never play Beatles? Because you really have to sing. And also, I don't know, when everybody was playing Beatles in PR, and Beatles and whatever, I was into Cream, man. I was just like hardcore. I was a rebel. So, but anyway, just by watching the Beatles, I mean, Harrison, and Lennon, I mean, I'm just like, wow, that's it. That's what I want to do. And
it's funny because that's not even American rock; that's British rock.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maggie says listening to Joe tell stories is just as amazing as hearing him play. I guess you know Maggie.
Yes, and got into Clapton. The first record I ever got, and getting to the blues. I went to. How did I make money? Oh, I used to cut lawns. I used to take my father's lawnmower and go around to the neighbors and cut lawns and
make some money.
I had to take a bus and then walk about miles to go to Kmart. That was the hangout. There's a Kmart there was a shopping center and there was a Kmart and I saw this record. Somebody told me, "Oh, you got to get Cream," and I saw the Cream record, but everybody's already. The Disraeli gear was on the radio, Sunshine of Your Love, but I bought the wrong record. I bought Fresh Cream because they didn't have Disraeli gear because everybody was buying that. So they had, it was $2.97. I want to remember and $2.97, and that was more in the late 60s. That $2.97 was like $20,
right.
I bought it so quick.
That's funny.
I went home with that record, and I put it on. And I'm listening. I don't remember what. Oh, the first song was "I Feel Free." I kind of didn't like that one. And then I keep on skipping songs until I put "Rolling and Tumbling." That was it. It hit me like a brick. I said, "What the heck is that?" And then I heard "Sleepy Time Time." I'm a sleepy time baby. And I said, "Oh my, what the hell is that?" I mean, everybody was listening to Beatles and Pretty and everything's love. No, not for me, man. Sleepy Time, Rolling and Tumbling. That's what it got me. And I said, "Man, this is what I'm gonna play."
And you're a self-taught player, right?
Yeah, I can. I don't even know the names. Well, I know what E is and A and B.
Right. I don't read music either.
But when they started doing, I don't know what that is.
Right.
Are you kidding? I mean, I play them, but because they sound good to my ears, but not because I know where they are.
Kmart in Humacho? Jeff, what are you doing? Texting from Skype? Because I get these little things that pop up on the screen, and it goes away before I can read it. But yeah, I look at a staff of musical notes, and I don't know if it's my brain or my eyes. It just looks like confusion to me. My son reads and can write.
Good for him.
And
I can't do it.
Even time signatures, I can feel them, but I can't read music.
Well, I try. When I was in high school, I sign up for music class, and they give me the in Puerto Rico they start you with the solfeo. How you say that in English? Solfeo is when you sing in the notes. You're reading the notes, but you're singing it. You're not using the instrument. You use your mouth.
Singing.
Solfeo, but no, but it's the notes.
I'm not sure.
It's the notes. You sing in the note, but do re, like that.
Mm-hmm.
So boring, But they start me. Then the teacher, he was a, bad guy. He was a Latin guy, played trumpet, and he wanted me to play Latin music. And I'm a guitar player. I want to play rock, And he put me in this ensemble, and he wanted us to try some not stupid. It's good music, but you know what? I wasn't interested. And I didn't want to do it. And then he told me, "You know what? I don't think you have any future. Just give it up. I don't think you're going to be a musician. You don't have what it takes."
How many times people?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just looking here. We got a lot of activity on Facebook. I'm sorry I'm not getting to all your Facebook replies and posts, but listening to Joe here. What else you got? Some more music?
I do another. Let me see. Like I say again, I recorded all this stuff a long time ago, so I don't even remember the lyrics.
Right, and
I had to go home and rewrite stuff, and then I'm blind. But these glasses, I just got this Walmart to save some money, but you know what? I think something's wrong with these glasses.
Yeah, the glasses. I go from these to these. These are the bifocal. Whoa, there you guys are. All right.
This song I wrote after my second marriage. I went to some rough times.
Bad relationships are just so great for writing music.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I haven't written on my.
Right, when you're in love, it's like.
My wife now, she's very nice, so she doesn't give me a problem. But I don't know. I wrote this tune. I was living I live in a mobile home. I live in a traveling home for a bit, Then I met this wife, and then we saw that traveling home. It was a small traveling home. It's very small, like the size of. And then I moved to a bigger trailer. We were like 6 years in a trailer park. But you know what? It's not so bad. Because I was paying like $200 and something for the land, including the water. So I saved money and we bought a house.
There you go.
I saved money.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I mean, I didn't save money to buy the house. I saved money for the down payment of the house.
Right.
I saved $10,000. And we went around. That's when the real estate was high. And I don't know how it just got, this house we saw, and the guy was showing it to us, the agent. He didn't, he was not a good agent, maybe, or something. You know what I did? I wrote a letter to the owner of the house. I said, listen, we really love your house. We just got married. We have no money. I mean, we don't have a lot of money, but we have at least enough money to put a down payment. Can you bring it down a little bit? We really wanted the house needed to work. And that's with the agent wasn't around. I just went the next day. I wrote this letter and I put it through the mailbox. And the owner of the house went there. He grabbed the letter. He saw it and he read it. He called me. He said, "Call me. I want to talk to you."
There you go.
And we got the house.
Beautiful. You gotta ask, right? You don't get unless you ask.
So I have a friend of mine. Her name is Carol Barbieri. She's a really good singer. You know Carol?
Mm-mm.
Carol Barbieri. She's sort of like Johnny Mitchell, kind of. Very good, and plays guitar very good. So she helped me out with this, she helped me with the lyrics because that's another problem that I have.
Yeah.
Remember, my mind is like a child, because of my accent, or my English. I learned English here, when I was 20 years old. So to be a good songwriter, you have to have a big vocabulary, you have to know a lot of words. If you want to say that that's glasses, but you want to say in different, you have to know like 10 different words for the same thing. You gotta, and you've got a rhyme, and it's not easy. It's not easy, So I write something, and it's very simple, because I don't have, my language is not that.
It's still
big.
Music, Joe.
Exactly.
It's still music.
But I have good ideas. I have good ideas too. Maybe I should just forget about lyrics and just write, just compose. But then I don't know how to. I can't explain people what I'm doing. That's another problem. But anyway, let's see if I can remember. It's a blues tune. I got no job. I got no plan. I got no job. I'm just doing the best I can. And sometimes, baby, you make me feel like half a man. I got no house. I sleep in my van. I got no house. I'm a lonely man. And sometimes, baby, you make me feel like half a man. You said that you love me. I was the only man. You say that you need me. I was the only man. Now all you do, baby, it made me feel like half a man. You know, just simple. It's just simple blues. You know, I wish I could. There's a lot of good songwriters there. You know, maybe someday I have to really, you know, focus and put my mind into it, or team up with somebody. Remember all the greatest, like the Beatles, the Stones, all those guys, Simon and Garfunkel. It's always been a team.
Right.
Most of it, unless you have somebody like Bob Dylan, but that's a different story. That's a genius for real.
Right.
You know, and Tom Petty. I mean, those guys are amazing songwriters. But for most part, it's always been a team because
they add
two brains. You know,
right.
Oh no, say this, say that. You know, they help you out. You know, oh maybe no, instead of a 4, just go to a 2, or go somewhere else. You know.
I've always enjoyed collaborating. Bouncing off ideas.
It's writing good songs is, and it's also you know, there's a formula that some people have the talent to write hits. You know,
right?
It's just amazing. You know, Tom Petty is one of those guys. Yeah. Every song that he writes, it sounds like something that you already heard. That he was like, you know, it's amazing. Yeah. I'm you know. Like most blues guys, you know. Oh, I mean, they're all straight blues. I'm not straight blues, but no, I have to go like, you know, go and mess it up.
No, see, I like that. That's what kept me away from the blues as a kid.
Yeah.
Where it was boring to me because I didn't I was listening to the rhythms and the chords.
Yeah.
Then later in life, I started listening to the leads and those little triads and those little pieces of chords and how you resolve, and thought, wow, this is so much deeper than I ever thought it was.
But you know what it is? The blues is not about how good you're on the guitar. Everybody's good on the guitar. Right. That's it. See, nowadays, everybody's great on the guitar. Anybody could be better than you, man. It's just amazing. It's just like people, you know, lifting weights. You know, anybody goes and lift weights every day and take steroids and get really big. You know, it doesn't matter. The blues is about the lyrics and about the singing and lyrics and how you you know, like how you know, credible is, how honest. Like Muddy Waters. I mean, Muddy Waters wasn't a very good guitar player. Neither, I mean, Robert Johnson did some cool stuff, but some guys, they're not that really good guitar players. They're good good enough for what they do, but it's not about the guitar player. It's about the feeling, you know, the lyrics, and they're really telling a story.
That's why it's the blues. That's where it was born.
They're telling a story, and they do it from the heart, and they're suffering, and B.B. King was pretty good, but you know, some guys, it's more like it's just like comes out of the heart, you know, and wow. You know what I'm saying? It's not about how fancy can you be. Who cares? Right. Who cares how fancy can you be in the guitar? It's if you can get to that audience with what you're saying, you know, and that's the most important thing. That's what I tell people. Don't worry about the technique. You know what? Just make a good song, pretty song. You know, nice that get to people. You know, then the solos you could work. You go. It's like going to the gym. You go and make muscles. You know, get muscles. Right. Solo, when you practice until you get a nice solo and you get a nice sound.
As we were setting up, you were stating that you're playing more and more jazz.
Don't tell me, jazz guy, please. I'm not a jazz guy. I'm not even close. But yeah, I play jazz gigs. You know what I did? I bought this guitar, and people see that guitar and say, "Man, look at that guitar. That guy's good."
It's because he has a big guitar.
And then I just know a couple of fancy, and people, wow. That guy is amazing. Okay.
So what play a jazz piece?
Oh man, I don't know. I just do really simple stuff, you know.
And
like you know, I'm not supposed to play covers. I just play covers.
Nobody will recognize it if it's jazz. No.
No, I just do simple stuff. You know, I mean, I do like Killer Joe. You know, I do, you know, stuff like Kenny Burrell. But see, these are, you know, simple chords in, you know, the kind of thing. You know, Killer Joe. I do Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. You know, just simple stuff like that. You know, like for example, summertime. I do sort of like a, you know, more like a swing. And it sounds like jazz, but
Yeah.
trust me.
Well, what I dig is the technique, and I've watched a whole bunch of your videos before you came on the show because I do my homework when I have a guest. And go to YouTube and look up Joe Taino and check out some of his stuff. There's a technique that you do where you play the guitar kind of sweeping your fingers, and it may not work with a clean sound.
No, you could do. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is the deal. Somebody's calling?
Nah, it's just Facebook. Just keeping up on it in case people are asking questions. We got a lot of people on Facebook checking us out.
Oh,
which is awesome. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate you tuning in.
listen, don't compare me with. There's so many incredible and virtuosos there, man.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm not one of them. Okay.
No, listen, this is.
But I'm one of the guys. You know, I've been playing bars in front of people since 1972.
Yes, let's see.
For a
You're a
living.
warrior.
I was in '72. I was still in high school. In 12th grade, that's when I started playing every night. But before that, I started playing in 1966. This is the thing. My father first bought me an acoustic guitar, and sure after he bought me a Taisco, really pretty guitar. It was blue with the horns, and it had 2 tuners on one side and 4 on the top. Just give me 1 second. And I got hired in a band because I had a nice guitar, brand new guitar, and an
See, it's the guitar, man. It gets you gigs.
and we didn't even have a bass player. We were 3 guitar players and a drummer. The drummer, 9 years old. The kid played anything.
Wow.
Guess what? He played for 2 years, became a druggie, and I don't know if he's probably dead already. He never played again.
That's a shame.
And he was amazing. He used to do wipe out, everything on drums. I mean, for a kid that is 9 years old, back then, that was a big deal. Let me see what I was going to. Now I forgot myself.
That technique.
Oh, okay. So what I'm saying is I've been playing for a long time, and you have to learn how to. The most important thing is you go to the music store, grab every guitar that you can, try them all, and whatever is the most comfortable that you really feel like it's part of you, that's the guitar. Mm-hmm. Don't buy a pedal. Trust me, don't buy effects pedals. Try that guitar to different amps. What amplifier sounds nice and you like it, that's the amp. You take it. Work with that first. Not effects. Forget about effects. Then with that guitar, you're gonna learn the different sounds on the different songs and what works for you, and the different techniques. I would love to play with finger style, which I cheat. I play, well, sometimes I do. Sometimes but I'm not there's guys that are really amazing doing that. Well, and then I do what they call traveling, Travis picking, that's what it is. Which is a combination of the flat pick and your fingers, Let
me see, maybe the camera angle. Get a better angle. Let's see if this helps. Let's see. Yeah, that might.
So, what I was saying, learn how to use your instrument really well. I use Fender guitars. You could probably do it with the Gibson too, but Fenders is easier because Strats and Tellys, the controls are right there, and I do stuff with the switch. I do stuff with the tone control. I make it sound like a wah-wah. The switch. I do all kinds of stuff, with the instrument. I tap on the neck, and I make different harmonics. So get all the possibilities of the instrument, and then when you play like blues, there's so many different ways of playing blues. There's nuances. Like you could say a lot of people crank the guitar. I work a lot with the volume.
Dynamics.
I basically have the volume like halfway or 3/4 of the way. To play rhythm, but it's not written in stone because sometimes I have to go even lower or a little harder. Like if I'm gonna Like if it's a hard driving blues, like you can't do that on a bass pickup. It doesn't sound that good. So when you're doing that, well, so this guitar is not for that, but it's a jazz guitar. Right? But you do basically, if you're gonna do the hard driving Texas style, kind of thing, rock blues, what they call them, Stevie Ray Vaughan, whatever, Jimmy Vaughan. I recommend to do it on the bridge pickup, and you could do it. Then there's different places that you're gonna play. You cannot do the bridge pickup and do it here. It sounds too sloppy. But if you do it here, like close to the bridge, you could clean it up, and then you could do little things. So it's so many things that you can do on the guitar. You don't need effects, trust me. Then if you're playing that, swing, whatever call it, West Coast swing, everybody's playing like that now. T-Bone Walker, you play really close to the bridge. Look at this.
You get a twangy sound.
And very economical. Wow, that guy's amazing. No, man, it's just there, man. It's so simple. But I mean, you could do little things like that, little, runs like that,
So we're still getting to the...
Yeah. Little things, and then you could do some... It's just... Basically, it's all BS, but... but if you learn how to do that BS in the right place, then it sounds like...
Let's call them tools.
Oh, man, and you don't need no pedals, man. Get a nice amp that sounds really good, a nice guitar that you're comfy with. That's another thing. Don't use 12 or 13 because Stevie Ray Vaughan used 13s. Oh, man, no. Dude, if you cannot play 13s, don't play 13s. Right. Because you know what? You're going to hurt yourself. Yeah. Oh, you're going to play slow. See, the heavier the string, if you're playing blues, it's going to slow you down. Now, if you're playing jazz, you could get away with heavy string because jazz basically, bending, and you could put the action low, and you could do it's all scales and stuff and chords, and so you could do heavy strings. For blues, you have to use a little higher action than normal, and you don't need heavy strings. I recommend for blues, any 10s or 11s, depends on the guitar. Like on tellies, I use 10s because with stationary bridge. To bend on I could use 11, but after the second set, my fingers are screaming. I'm not that young anymore. Many years I use 11s for everything or 12s, but now in the tellies I use 10s. And the Strat, I don't use the Strat that much, but I have 11s in the Strat. These guitars have 11s, but these have a Bixby, so it gives, so it still can bend in nice. It's not that bad, But also. Think about this. When you have heavy strings, it's going to sound less snappy, less more bass and less brightness. So it depends on the guitar. Right. Like if you have a guitar that is muddy sounding or is dark sounding to begin with, and you put 12s or 11s, if you want to play like chicken picking, it ain't gonna work, man.
Yeah. That's what I love about the instrument. There's so much diversity. There's much technique.
Oh man, you could.
So I'm still waiting for the...
Oh, that thing, yeah. Well, you know what I use that? I don't know where I got that from, but when I'm doing like a slow blues,
I saw you do it in a solo. You were like ripping, and then you were going...
So sometimes I do what I can do.
Oh, that's kind of cool too, because I guess depending on where you're at, you can gain harmonics off the string.
You could do, and I'm not pressing hard. I'm just
strumming.
You use it. You practice that with girls. That.
And on that note, do you believe it's been an hour already? Holy crap!
You could do it.
Yeah, I always love harmonics. We're getting close to a wrap here, Joe. It's an hour. I know I could just sit here for hours and do this, but I'm really trying to keep the shows down to an hour. We have a lot of activities with so many people. A lot of them are your friends, which is awesome. There was one particular one here I wanted to read to you. Where did it go? somebody that had played with you back in 2000, but there's so many posts here now. I lost it in the feed. Let me keep trying here. Hold on. Oh, John Niche.
Oh, he's a monster
Yeah,
player.
said-
He told me everything that I know.
He said did gigs with Joe in the mid 2000s before moving to Oregon. Played drums and bass.
Oh no, John Nish is a no. I was thinking about another guy. No, yeah, John is a great player and very talented.
Says
John played drums and played bass.
Yeah, learned a lot from the man. Missed the Scotland Yard hang back in the day.
Yeah, no, John is a great guy and very talented guy. I mean, he played drums like a mother, and he played bass really good too.
So there are a lot of people viewing, especially on Facebook, commenting. So I can't go through and thank you all, but I thank you all. Really, thank you everybody for coming in. This stream will be up on YouTube later on tonight or tomorrow. Share it. If you go to my YouTube channel from the From Over There YouTube channel, please subscribe to it, because if I get 100 subscribers, it lets me change the name of my channel to actually From Over There, which would be great. That was an hour, Joe. Too fast.
All right.
I really appreciate you coming on.
Anytime.
Thank you kindly. Go out and see Joe. JoeTaino.com is his website. Where are you gigging? You got some gigs coming up?
This week I'll be on Thursday. I'm playing at Max Fields in Boonton at 7 p.m. Nice place. You got to get a gig there. Friday I got 2 gigs. I'm playing at Whole Foods in Union at 6:30, and then I'm playing at the GW Grill in Fort Lee at around 9:30. Hopefully I can make it on time, but I will make it on time.
Yeah, you're all over the place, man.
And then we're in June. Wait a second. I'm sorry. Yeah, the 18th. I'm not sure if I'm playing the 18th. I might be playing Rick Carlton's, in South Orange. But call first. I'm not sure.
Is your schedule on your website?
It's some of it. But the thing is, I get stuff.
That changes around.
Yeah. Oh, Father's Day, but you're going to be with your dad. I'm going to play in a place called Lake Valhalla in Montville. I'm playing there at...
Speaking of Father's Day, Joe, do you have children?
I got 3 kids and I got 5 grandkids.
Wow.
At 3 p.m. Lake Valhalla Club in Montville. It's close to Boonton. For my first time, I'm going to play there on Father's Day. But listen, if you have a father, you don't have to come and see me. Stay with your father, because you never know.
Bring him. Bring him to see
my
Joe.
My father went too early, and he saw me play a couple of times, but I wish he was alive, and I would spend time with him, I really miss him.
He's with that great band in heaven that just keeps getting bigger this year, especially, right?
Yep.
But once again, thank you all for tuning in from over there. Thank you, Joe Taino. It's been a pleasure, a lot of fun. And we will see you guys next time from over there. Thank you very much. Peace out.